And welcome back to the Steve Malzberg Show. Ladies and gentlemen, all week long we've been presenting you with part of my sit-down interview, my exclusive with Dr. Ben Carson. New polls out today show he's neck and neck once again with Donald Trump as they both continue to pull away from the rest of the pack. Now, Obamacare. How long have we heard about Obamacare? And who better out of all the candidates to ask about Obamacare, how to fix it, what he would do, than Dr. Ben Carson, famed neurosurgeon who was the first to separate conjoined twins at the head. So in this segment, we start off with the question to Dr. Carson, what about Obamacare and how would you remedy it?
There are much better ways to do it. When we take something as important as your health care and make it into a political football, this is what we get. Why don't we solve the problem? What do you need for good health care? A patient and a healthcare provider. Along comes the middleman to facilitate the relationship. Now it's become the dominant factor with the patient and the healthcare provider at its beck and call. And what I've provided, the system that I've provided, puts patients and healthcare providers back at the center and limits the influence of outsiders. And it will make all the difference in the world, will cost less money, and will be much more efficient.
And of course the employer mandate kicks in after the 2016 election, because that's another executive order, or Obama just unilaterally decided to postpone it. That's going to hit 80 million people.
It's incredible. It used to be when you started a business, you called your mom and you said you were so proud. Mom, I got a new business, 10 employees, then 20, then 30, then 40. Oh, better stop. Don't want to hit that 50. Yep. That's the very backbone of America, small business, and we have policies in place that are destroying that. What are we trying to do?
Carly Fiorina, she's third, you're second. If Donald Trump left and it became Carson and Carly, kind of, or whatever, however you want to phrase it, why should people choose you over her?
Well, I think that's the decision that they would have to make. They would have to listen carefully to what we had to say and determine what kind of people we were and which kind of leader they would like to have.
Who might you feel comfortable with or most comfortable with in the current field as your VP? I mean, have you given any thought to that whatsoever?
It may well be someone from outside the current field. I don't know. What I would be looking for...
If it had to be one of them, who do you like the most?
Well,
who are you more comfortable with? Close to your views, nice guy, but whatever you use to judge.
I just am not ready to say at this stage.
Syrian refugees, quote-unquote refugees. The administration has raised the bar. We're going to let 100,000 in, whatever. What would you do? What would you propose?
I would propose that we use our brains and be somewhat commonsensical. I mean, if you're going to bring in people from a place where there are a lot of jihadists who are interested in destroying us and they see an easy mechanism to infiltrate, why on earth would you do something like that? Particularly given the fact that we have tens of millions of people already in our country who are in need of our help. You know, when you get on an airplane, they say in case of an emergency, your oxygen mask will drop down, put yours on first, and then administer help to your neighbor. Okay, we need oxygen.
So tell me, what will people get out of the book, A More Perfect Union, when they read it?
Well, everybody knows that we have a Constitution, but very few people know what's in it and why it's there. When they get through reading this book, they'll know what's in it and why it's there.
Well, a lot of people, you're right, the lack of education, you're very big on education, it's made you the man you are today, and it is a shame, but one thing that people will come away with, I know you talk about so many things in the book, but if you had to pick one or two things that people will really gain out of it specifically, what would you say that is?
I think people will come away with a full understanding of how the executive branch is supposed to work as opposed to what's been happening lately, and a very good understanding of what the real powers of the legislative branch are, which they are not manifesting right now, and they need to, including judicial oversight.
Might people find out that, might they say, uh-oh, when they read your book, if they realize what you just alluded to?
Some of them might. I'd like to see a lot of the people in Washington read it too.
And this is good for young adults too?
It will be, if you read this book, you will know a lot.
Right. Congratulations.
All right,
thank you, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Ben Carson, we thank Dr. Carson for sharing so much time with us, and I hope you enjoyed the week-long presentation of the sit-down with the doctor. And, you know, I got to tell you, the week of media coverage as he's been on this book tour, I think has done him a world of good. He was at the National Press Club today earlier, and of course the criticism of everything he says, the left-wing media jumps on him. And the more they do that, the better it is for him. You know, one of the first things he said today was, "I am not politically correct." Well, that's been obvious from the get-go, and that was obvious in our conversation with the doctor throughout the week in what we presented to you. And I think between Trump and Carson, you have never seen two more politically incorrect candidates, and I think that's one of the major reasons that they are where they are in the polls. Again, his book, A More Perfect Union. And coming up next, more on the shakeup in the Republican Party. Who will be Speaker? Dick Morris joins us. Don't miss this.